and we're here with Jesse Michael with JLL and their digital advisory team. Tell us a little bit about JLL.
JLL DSA, so Digital Solutions Advisory. Myself and my business partner, Lee Jackson. You kind of nailed the hypothesis. We've done some good work together, obviously, so far, but we've been around just over 2 years now in the space. Just the two of us focused primarily on retail tech, and more so from not just a disruption standpoint and what's making a difference, but scalable technology as well. Sourcing technology, we do a lot of the sort of the pre-upfront vetting and understanding of what these technology groups are doing.
Over the last few years, I've been working here at Lewis for almost 10 years, and I'd say up until 4 years ago, to talk about technology or software and advancement in like retail just really wasn't a conversation people were having. And then I saw Placer came out, and I feel like that kind of maybe led the way in terms of like people thinking about technology. And now you guys are doing the advisory for it. Does there seem to be kind of a shift in how people are in the real estate industry is looking at technology?
Short story for you, 13 years in digital tech first, so I'm not a broker CRE native by trade. I come more from the technology side versus Lee, who's commercial real estate backed. My last tech company, we were there in the showcase stage. We were a tiny little stand. Placer was the other tiny little stand, and a couple of other groups. All of a sudden, it's like Placer booms. My last company is doing extremely well in retail tech. I think from Placer's perspective, it was the right product at the right time. It's extremely well built. The UI UX is fantastic. They've now got a ton of scale. But the other thing that drove, I think, a lot of retail tech was COVID. And if I'm being completely clear and transparent, the need for retail tech, especially if borders are closed or shopping centers are closed or whatever that is, need to engage with shoppers in a different way. And things like loyalty or offer platforms, trying to drive traffic back to the center, communicating with your tenants, so tenant comms platforms. They were always there, but I think that moment in time really started to at least expand the want, or actually just trying to understand what else was out there. And I would love your feedback on this too, potentially, of the mindset previously was very much we're the owner, the tenants can communicate with the customer, and we're not going to do much or anything from a B2C standpoint. And I think that's been the big mindset shift change. I don't know if you agree with that statement.
I agree with it wholeheartedly. It's not widely adopted in terms of, especially our types of shopping centers that are grocery anchored shopping centers. But it's something that we focus on. Some of it's just hand-to-hand combat, helping with the grand openings and things like that. But we definitely have that mindset ourselves. Technology's helping with that for sure.
And then who owns the data too, right? That was always a big question around how shopping centers want access to some of that customer data, but the tenants are very, secret, safeguarded, let's call it, by, who owns that data. That's always, and it's still a big sort of struggle between these platforms. And that's one advancement I would say from the retail tech side that is changing. We find a lot of shopping center owners want, a lot of the big buzzwords around first party data, the capture of that first party data. I think Placer actually brought a lot of just insights into this world of, I can just log in and see all sorts of, and then they just add features. So I think curiosity is part of the reason that a lot of this went to, because if I have access to this, what else can I get access to? And just curiosity just continues to steamroll, right?
What are a few genres of CRE tech or retail tech that we should be paying attention to?
First party data becomes ever more important in a cookie-less world, as we call it, with the internet, and how are shopping center owners, property management groups, capturing first party data? How are tenants capturing first party data? How do you know who's coming to your asset? This tenant is better placed beside this one or this one or this one. It's sort of that rudimentary piece. You're actually using the data.
We're also seeing a lot of surprises out there too. Certain stores that are doing a lot better, drawing from a much bigger trade area, things like that. So we love learning about this stuff. But where would you recommend somebody who's in commercial real estate and wants to know more?
Talk to us. A lot of it's just foundational piece. Retail tech is the same application as we know across. There's so many different asset classes. So me talking to you about customer journey technology maybe doesn't make sense for the asset classes that you have, but for enclosed 3-level shopping centers, that's maybe be more, it's a completely different piece, right? So it really depends on the type of asset class that you have, on where you start. I mean, website is a foundational piece that's been there for a long time, but traditionally it was always, going there for the stores, the directory, and hours.
Yeah.
Those are the key things.
Yeah.
That would be something I sort of implore the people listening and watching to sort of, if you see something and you think it's cool, but a lot of people get scared at sort of the rollout cost, but even there's a lot of pilot costing that if you look at that and go, you try it out, you go, holy, like these insights are amazing, or wow, I didn't know this could be so powerful. And then you look at a way to negotiate and actually help scale that across properties. That would be one thing I would say in this industry I would love to see more, is more test and learn.
Very cool. I learned a lot, so thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for having me.